Alright, this is 3-4, classwork / homework. Hopefully you got it done in class, but if you're watching this video, you probably didn't, or maybe you were absent. This is over point, slope, form. And here is a copy of the notes we did in class. There's going to be a PDF of this right above the video link that you see. So point, slope, form is basically used when you want to use y equals mx plus b, the one that we know and we love, but you don't have the b value. Instead, they gave you 1 point on the line, which consists of an x and a y value, an input and an output, and they also gave you the slope. So this is an equation that you can use to plug in the x value, plug in the y value, plug in the slope, do a little math, and you end up with slope-intercept form. Okay? So that's all this thing is about. You don't have to memorize this equation. It's actually available to you even on the state test. This equation is listed on the reference page, but you need to know how to use it. So you need to know to plug in the y number here, the x number here, and the slope here, and then do the math. So we're going to go ahead and do that several times. I'm going to do all the odds on here. We have the point slope formula, y minus y of 1 is equal to m times the quantity of x minus x of 1. Okay? I plug in a value here, here, and here. Now, the m value they gave me is 5. So I'm going to put a 5 for my m. Notice my x is always my first number in my parentheses, but I'm not putting it in my first blank. I'm putting it way over here on the end. So I'm putting x minus 1. I plugged in my x, my 1 for x. Okay? Notice the minus sign. Where did that come from? It came from the equation itself. The equation you use has minus signs built in, so keep that in mind. On the front I have y minus, and for y of 1 I use 3. So I end up with y minus 3 equals 5 times the quantity of x minus 1. Once you do that, it's all distribution and just math. Okay, I'm going to distribute my 5. 5 times x is 5x. 5 times minus 1 is minus 5. That's the right-hand side. Okay, I need to get y by itself, and I can do opposite math. Opposite of a minus 3 is plus 3. That cancels on the left. And on the right, I have 5x. When I combine a negative 5 and a positive 3, I get negative 2. So my answer is y equals 5x minus 2. Okay, you can do 2 on your own. Let's go ahead and do number 3. It says graph each equation, and they give us a hint. Put into slope-intercept form first. Okay, we actually were kind of nice to you guys. We went ahead and wrote it with all the values plugged in. It's already in slope-intercept form. So all you have to do is do the math steps. Distribute the 3 and then get y by itself. So 3 times x is 3x. 3 times a minus 2 or negative 2 is negative 6. The left-hand side just has y plus 1. Let's get rid of the 1 with opposite math. It cancels. You have a negative 6 and a negative 1. It's going to give you negative 7. So we're left with y equals 3x minus 7. Now we have one extra step to go, and that is we want to graph this equation. We learned about y equals mx plus b. The b is the y-intercept. It's where my line crosses the y-axis. So basically, if it's positive, you count up from the origin. If it's negative, you count down from the origin. This one's negative. We're going to count down 7. 2, 4, 6, 7. So I'll start way down there. Okay? Then my slope, if it's positive, and this one is, I need to count up and to the right. Now, if you don't have a bottom number, you automatically put a 1, because 3 over 1 is the same thing as 3. So this is telling me to count 3 up and 1 to the right. And we start from here. 3 up, 1 to the right. 3 up, 1 to the right. 3 up, and we keep going as far as we can. and that's my line. So you can get a straight edge if you want. I'm just going to kind of do that. All right, so you can do number 4. It's very similar. You're going to start by distributing here and here. Let's go ahead and do number 5 together. Let me see if I can zoom in, help you guys see. All right, so this time they don't give us, they don't have it plugged into the formula like they did up here. They do give us a point and the slope, so we're going to use the point slope formula. Okay, they gave us an x value, they gave us a y value, and they gave us an m value. So I'm going to write my formula. Okay, remember, you don't have to have that memorized. It's y minus the y value, or y of 1, equals the m number times x minus the x value, or the x of 1. I'm going to plug in a number here, here, and here. I plug in, I'm just going to write y minus, and what's my y value they gave me? It's 6. And notice that minus sign is part of the formula, so that positive 6 that I plug in is now a minus 6. I put my slope here, they gave me negative 1 over 4. And then in the parentheses I have x minus, and I plug in negative 4. Now watch this carefully. I have a minus there from the equation, from the actual formula, and now I have a negative sign that was attached to my 4. Just remember this, whenever you have two negatives in a row, or a minus and a negative together, the two sticks make a plus sign. That's it. When you have two side by side, they make a plus sign. Okay? So x minus negative 4 is the same thing as x plus 4. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite the problem having done that step. I really encourage you guys not to try too much in each step. Okay? If you try to do too much in each step, you tend to sometimes get some little things off, and then it ends up being wrong. Okay? So I just did one thing. I just went from making this a minus and negative to a plus sign, and I rewrote the whole problem. It's worth doing it if it shows your train of thought. Now I'm showing distribution. Negative 1/4 times x gives me negative 1/4 x. Negative 1/4 times 4. If you're savvy with the numbers, the 4's cancel. Multiplying by 4 and dividing by 4, you're left with that. Okay? So you have negative 1. Negative 1/4 times a positive 4 gives you negative 1. All right, so we have y minus 6 equals negative 1/4 x minus 1. But this this negative 6 has to go to the other side, so I do plus 6 on both sides. I have y equals minus 1/4 x plus 5. Okay? So now, let's go ahead and go up 5. 2, 4, 5. My slope is going to be down 1, 4 to the right. Down 1, and it goes a little bit off. We were able to get a couple on there. That's our line. Okay, let's try number 7 and we'll be done on this video. It says write an equation in slope-intercept form for the following graph. Okay, so they give us a line. So to write the equation in slope-intercept form, we need the slope and we need the y-intercept. Okay, so this has nothing to do really with point slope form. This is just regular review from what we did recently. We need the m, we need the b, the slope and the y-intercept. The b value is right here. It went up 1, so my b is 1. My slope is going up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, so my slope is 1/2. We have y equals 1/2 x plus 1. And those are the odds. Go ahead and try the evens and come in for tutoring if you need more help.